I never played the original Watch Dogs because it looked like gloomy crap, but I decided to give the sequel a chance because it at least appeared Ubisoft learned to take the franchise a little less seriously. Watch Dogs 2 follows Marcus Holloway, a hacker who wants to fight the good fight against big corporations who abuse their customers' private data. He joins the San Francisco-based hacktivist group and anonymous wannabes DedSect. They're comprised of a girl with daddy issues, a guy with daddy issues, a guy with autism, and a black guy. Good job, Ubisoft, this is some next level shit. I don't think having a black main character and a token black character in the same game has ever been done before. Anyway, DedSect's sole mission is to fuck over Bloom, a major tech company whose operating system is in practically everything. They're also really interested in selling your personal habits.
It's like sadtube.com.
It's also run by one of the douchiest characters I've ever seen, at least since Uncharted 4's villain. I mean, his name is Dushin, so maybe he had a rough time in high school and finally gave in to all the bullies' insults and accepted what they were calling him.
Maybe I am one.
In order to take down this huge corporation, they need followers to download their app, which gives them more computing power, I think? Sorry if that's vague, you almost need to unlearn technology to explain the plot. But to get followers, DedSec likes to hack into other big companies and pull a prank or two and expose all their dirty laundry. As far as the story is concerned, the hacking is both a core element and a plot device. Technology in Watch Dogs is the equivalent to magic in fantasy stories, so expect quite a few lazy explanations. For example, how are we taking control of a car from the early 90s? Because hacking. The only thing more unrealistic than the hacking is the lack of traffic in San Francisco. This seems about right on a good day. But the plot of Watch Dogs 2 is more of a premise to have fun with these wacky characters, and for the most part they succeed. Marcus is a cool main character who plays it smooth, but is definitely a nerd at his core. But that might be me projecting too much, because I made him more of this the entire game. But the same can be said about Satara, Wrench, and Josh. They're written well enough to the point where I actually cared about them, albeit some more than others because Wrench is a total badass. And then we come to Horatio, the black mark of the Watch Dogs 2 cast. It really feels like he was tossed in late during development. He doesn't even have very many lines for most missions, unlike everyone else. It's so bad I actually forgot he was a character until I had to talk to him to start a mission. He doesn't have much personality because of the lack of dialogue, and his fate is ultimately the same as every token black character. Spoiler, he dies, and not even in a way connected to the main story. Watch Dogs 2 also has a serious issue with the schizophrenic tone. The beginning was the strongest, when DedSec was messing around with each other and trying to get followers. I thought it was trying to pull a Saints Row 2, but then it brought in the painful, ham-fisted melodrama and lost me. After this scene, the game still has the goofiness in between more unnecessary drama, so the main missions, and therefore the story, are tonally inconsistent, because you never know when a character will start their period. Hey guys, I know we're in a really bad situation, but don't worry, I have a plan. Let's go to Burning Man, that'll solve our problems. And it fucking does. Somehow, that plan actually worked in the story, and they just act like it's normal. I think they're going for the it's all fun and games until reality sets in kinda arc, but it's so poorly done that I'm not even sure if that's what they were trying to do. So it's just shit writing. And trust me, I know a thing or two about shit writing. Here's a joke. What's the most shocking thing a watchdog can learn? How many volts the taser has? After Marcus does an important mission, the player is treated to an anonymous rip-off video saturated in memes. Because what's the best way to drive home our important privacy-related message and act as a payoff for completing the mission? Enough garbage memes to undermine the point and make the player cringe so hard their skull caves in. What else bothered me? This scene where Marcus meets Dushin and doesn't fucking shoot him because it's not like the 50 other security guards had families or loved ones. I can definitively say this game would be better if the guns were removed altogether, story-wise and gameplay-wise, because what you've got are serviceable mechanics at best. It's primarily cover-based and works unless you're trying to get behind cover in the middle of a firefight. So yeah, the controls don't feel great, but they work most of the time. And why would you even want to get in a giant shootout when you can just call the police and have them do all the work for you? If you want guns in your games, play any other shooter, you'll have more fun with them. The reason you play Watch Dogs is for the hacking gameplay, and that's where the game is the most fun. Hacking into cameras and setting traps for unsuspecting guards is incredibly empowering. I'm also a fan of blowing out their eardrums and swooping in for a melee takedown. Although it would be nicer if the hacker vision didn't make the game blue, red, and a lighter shade of blue. But that's a relatively small complaint in the grand scheme of things. All the options and gadgets at Marcus's disposal, not the guns, make for a fun time, and using every trick you have is crucial for staying alive because Marcus is quite fragile when it comes to bullets. He is an expert at walking off motorcycle crashes though. You also run into quite a few of these line puzzles every now and then. They're about as much fun and challenging as Connect the Dots, so they're not very for either, and it really does feel like padding to make the game longer. But this is a sandbox game, and an Ubisoft one at that, so how's the world? It's pretty good. The driving is better than the shooting, even if the licensed music kinda sucks. Clothes shopping and collectibles are all par for the course, but the Bay Area is a varied and interesting setting. And the side missions are surprisingly not bad either. They all have an original story to them, which makes the stale missions a bit more bearable. You'll be doing stuff like go-karting, trolling CEOs, hacking into Ubisoft, yes, that really happens, and slobbing over Aiden Pierce's cob, to make him seem like an interesting character even if it's a game too late. Watch Dogs 2 has a lot of problems, but it's a vast improvement over the original game with the amount of personality and likable characters. It just has a long way to go for the series to actually be great. Watch Dogs 2 gets a C. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, tell me if you've played the game, if you agree, I don't know, if I'm full of shit. I mean, I am, so I won't take it personally. But in all seriousness, I am trying to expand the channel a little bit, so if you know anyone who is or would be interested in these kinds of videos, let them know. I'd appreciate it a lot. Anyway, later.